have a position that you're convinced of, but through somebody's counter arguments and somebody's attacks on your position, your foundation, your core foundation is starting to shake and you're starting to doubt yourself, okay? That kind of a doubt is called a mirya. So don't become of those who loses their foundation and starts doubting the basis on which they believe. Okay, that's what the Prophet is being told. Now what is the comparison between these two? Baqarah, the ayah actually belongs to the passage where the direction of Muslim prayer changed from Jerusalem to Kaaba, to Makkah. And when that direction changed, the scholarly members of the Jewish community critiqued the Muslims about how that's ridiculous, how Makkah has no sacred value. Historically, the sacred house is Jerusalem. And of course, they're scholars. The Prophet ﷺ is an ummi. The Prophet is an unlettered prophet. And these are people that are literally described in the Quran as ahbar, scholars of ink. Like their hands are always dirty with ink because they're writing so much all the time. These are PhDs and then some. That's what they are. And they're telling you, you don't know what you're talking about. Now when an academic, someone with a lot of intellectual promise, credentials, when they tell you you don't know what you're talking about, it can mess you up. A high school student gets into college, goes to a PhD in philosophy, who's teaching philosophy 101, he's going to be intimidated by his academic credentials. He's going to feel like this person, after studying all that much, must know more, must be right. I mean, how can they be wrong? They're an expert after all. You see what I'm saying? So the context here is because the criticism is coming from those who have very high academic credentials. You have a chance of becoming intimidated. And that intimidation can make you question yourself. Don't. Truth comes from your master. Don't become from those who fall into doubt. Don't you dare fall into doubt. There's no threat here. Just don't be doubtful. They might come up with some philosophical arguments justifying, their faith, but there's nothing big here. There's no real threat here. Nothing to be intimidated by here. Just stick to the truth. Just stick with the truth. So when you're being, the lesson drawn for you and me, of course, is that there are two kinds of doubt. There's emotional doubt and there's intellectual doubt. Emotional doubt is the kind of doubt that wasn't attempted by the Christian community. Out of love of God, out of the want of salvation, wouldn't you want to have a guarantee? Wouldn't you just want to be saved? And then through that, and by the way, when people are not feeling love in the Muslim community, when they don't feel love, and then they go to the Christian community and they feel loved, then it makes them start doubting Islam. And you think there's an intellectual problem and you start arguing 3 is not 1, 1 is not 3, look at their Bible, look at how much it's changed and all this. You're making intellectual arguments, but their doubt isn't intellectual. Their doubt is emotional. Their doubt is, if those people are wrong, why are they so kind and nice? And if we're truthful, why are we so mean and insensitive? That's the doubt. But the academic doubt is a different animal altogether. The academic doubt is about making arguments that are, they sound so elaborate with all these terminologies and all these books and papers and research and all this stuff that looks so staggering and intimidating that you say, man, I don't know if I can believe what I believe anymore because there's a lot of PhDs done on how he's not a prophet. That's intellectual doubt. Of course, the Muslims are supposed to fight both. Allah did not dismiss one doubt or the other. The academic doubt came from the attack of academic doubt came from the Jewish community, the Jewish scholarship. The emotional doubt was brought forward by the Christian community. And Allah acknowledged both of them. He did acknowledge that the academic is more dangerous. He did. And by the way, let me tell you why now the emotional is less dangerous. I'll tell you why. The Prophet ﷺ is not a scholar. He didn't study in a seminary. He doesn't have a PhD. He's not an academic. He's not writing books. So they do have, in that sense, what they might think is an upper hand, yes? But with the Christians, what they have is love. What they have is softness. What they have is character. What they have is kindness, compassion, mercy. The Prophet has that more than anybody ever did. So you can't mess with the Prophet ﷺ when it comes to that. We have a problem because we've lost that beautiful trait of the Prophet ﷺ. So we're being attacked from both kinds of doubt. And that's why the second doubt is not as big of a threat in these ayat, because what they have to offer in terms of softness and kindness and love and mercy, more than they've ever experienced, is already there in the person of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It's already there.